yesterday's prayer, there was a line in there that I wanted to get into our conversation.
Good.
Along this time. Yeah, it was, it is now time to understand what love can do. We are beginning to understand the gifts that have been passed on to us. We have traveled with them unbeknownst to us all this lifetime. We just forgot them on the birthing ride over. That is alluding to the fact that all these psychic things that we're talking about and trying to get people interested in, we've had those with us all the time. We just wipe that part of the slate so clean that we can't find the etchings in there. But those have it always rides with us in our DNA.
Yeah, maybe this 2021 is the age of Aquarius. It's coming into a mental age. It's coming into our creativity. We are free and unlimited. We don't have to destroy the opponent. All we have to do is demonstrate a better. Don't preach to me, show me. Like the unsinkable Molly Brown. I'm not down yet. Don't preach to me, show me how to do it better. I can do it. There's some place I know it.
Yes, we've done it in the last 10,000 years, however many times I've been here. I've probably done everything that I can imagine or even not imagine that I can remember those things and do them now.
Well, we had a guest that was here for a while, Keith. I keep forgetting his name. He researched past lives of the physical form. Mm-hmm. And he said, do you mind if I check you out? So he started my family line through the German and his family line through the English, and our relationship in England, Germany, Spain, Italy, Egypt, Palestine, all of those places. And he'd come back with eyes this big around, tracing back, saying, I was your brother in Egypt. But what's the biggest mistake is everybody thought we were Egyptians, but our dad was a Greek officer that conquered northern Italy or northern Egypt and declared himself pharaoh and married the princess, so he legitimized his ruling. And Cleopatra was one of his daughters, and we were his sons. And I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, is he tipping it? But he told me some things that when he said them, I already knew it. Mm-hmm. It's something you wouldn't read in a book. It wouldn't be something you'd seen in the movies. It was something that all of a sudden I knew it. Like some of these energy things I'm doing, I don't know where they're coming from, but I know it. I know it.
Yep.
And how can we tell the people out there, come on, you've got centuries of knowledge, instead of being, and I've got to jump to something that's even crazier. There was two species of some kind of a human that was on Earth here, and they merged. Mm-hmm. Well, when they merged, all the DNA comes out of those two, and the climate and everything else changed them. So that means we're all related. The only thing that changed our exterior structure was the climate, the energy of the rocks and the earth, the food we ate, and we developed our own culture because of isolation. We moved off in little tribes here and there, and we were trying to relate to everything. So how can I look at a Japanese or a black or person from any place and without saying, you're my cousin? You're a relative?
Mm-hmm. We're all part of the human race.
Yeah. So why can't we spend more time, instead of declaring war on each other and saying this is right and that's right, why can't we come together and reason together and come to a common denominator that we both can live with and start living this planet in what you just read with love?
Mm-hmm.
This is what, when people say, I love you, I said, what does that mean? My last dictionary says there's 26 different definitions of love. I'll tell you that after I got past the third one, I was not impressed.
No,
There's so many exceptions, and
mm-hmm.
why don't we get back to the purity of the word?
Which brings me to this concept. The energies are changing.
Yes.
Because we're going from kind
Physical.
of a dark situation in our past couple of thousand years to more love and more light. What I think we need to be prepared to do, people are going to start becoming very telepathic, start becoming very empathic, and I think for the people like you and I and some of the other people in our in the home center, we're going to be able to help them understand that there's nothing wrong with you. This is just a normal part of evolution, and we've been here before, and help calm them down.
Look what we can do right now. We can get on Zoom, we can talk to anybody in the world.
Mm-hmm.
We could do it, send a message to them. I have to tell you that when I was back in Buffalo, a person that I knew when I was in the service in the 50s, now it's we're in the 80s, and she was an instructor at the University of Jacksonville, and she had a group of African students talking to her about Christianity and the Christian religion and stuff like that as part of the socialization class that she had. And they asked her about wielding the fig tree. How did Jesus wield the fig tree? And she said, you know, I have a friend, he lives up in Buffalo, New York, and if he was here, he could explain how Jesus wields the fig tree, but I haven't a clue. At the same time she says this, and we're 1,000 miles apart, I'm in my living room of my house, and all of a sudden I got this hunch, go into the kitchen. So I go in the kitchen, I walk up to the telephone, and I said, the telephone, why am I here at the telephone? And all of a sudden I saw my telephone directory, and I opened it up, and there's Jane's name. I haven't talked to her in a couple years. I wonder if she still got the same number. So I called her. And as soon as she picked up the phone, I started explaining to her how Jesus wielded the fig tree. And when I got all finished, I said, I haven't a clue of what I told you this for. And she says, I do, but I got to call you back because I'm teaching a class and that's a question they ask. So she goes back into the room, and here's all of these students looking at her, and she said, you know, I was just talking about Jay and the wielding the fig tree. He just called me to give me the answer. He said their eyes got this big around and couldn't figure out how he could have heard her 1,000 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
We're all connected.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Most of us get these and we dismiss them because we think we need to be dependent on the telephone or something else.
Or some radio or something, yeah.
Or something else. We
Or
never,
Zoom anymore.
we never play the hunch. Someone's calling us. Are we listening?
Mm-hmm.
If we already got a DNA connection, if we have, all of us have this spiritual evolution, We don't need a machine to do it. We are electric current, and this is a hard drive.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, here we come into 2021. When I designed this home center, I wanted a lighthouse, and the lighthouse theme has always been, and will always be as long as I'm alive, come, we will refit you back to what rightfully is who you are, to be all that you came here to be, and send you back out. We don't want to own you. We're not confined. You don't have to keep coming here every Sunday to be in good graces. It's come, play with it, learn it, demonstrate it, and then get out and be it.
Mm-hmm.
Refit you out there in the sea, on there, and help other people find their way. Why not?
Mm-hmm. You know, about 10 years ago, I got a hold of a study that was done, but it was about religion. And they talked about religion is changing. And it's changing to very much what we're trying to do here. It's changing because people don't want to go sit in a pew somewhere and be told, you're the worm and this is how things are going to happen. And so the attendance to any kind of a religion is dropping off dramatically, and people are becoming spiritual.
Yes.
It has no title. It's just spiritual. Spiritual is that energy that connects us all together, DNA-wise. And that is what we're trying to propagate here, that understanding that it's you've got all the answers. It's in your DNA. You don't need somebody to tell you what you can do before you can do it. You can do it right now.
Yeah. And one of the things that's here is we can complement each other because we are here to share everything. So I don't want to be an expert on everything. I want to be in a community where we help each other unfold and be exposed to more. I want to know about it so I know who to go and say, hey, I need some help. Show me. I need some healing. Show me. We have people, John of God was doing magnificent healing down in Brazil. And all of a sudden, they deluged him, and they got so that they said, you have to produce this many healings in this much time, and all of a sudden his whole world went crashing. They said, see, he's a fraud. No, you abused him to his body could no longer function like it used to.
Mm-hmm.
He used to spend 5 days a week working in the garden, being connected to the earth, and Saturdays and Sundays he would do healing, all kinds of fantastic healing. So they said, now you can only be in the garden for 3 days a week, then 2 days a week, and then 1 day a week. He lost his source. We abuse because we want to say, I can't do it, so you can't do it. No, it's be the other way around now. 2021 should say, we can do it, and each one of us is going to be a specialist. Each one of us has got a gift. We should share it to empower all of us. This should be a planet of unconditional love. We have a choice, and in the choice that keeps coming in my head, we can design a planet where love lives 24/7, 365 days a year, and it's open to everyone. So if there is any other races out there in the universe and they want to come and find out what total acceptance feels like, this is the planet. Or we can still fight among ourselves over real estate, ownership, all of this stuff, and we'll bring in all of the guys out there that wants to dominate, to control. Like attracts like. What is it you want in your world? Your life.
I don't know who the guy was that came up with the 100th monkey.
Yeah, I like that
You know,
one.
but when you think about that, you have a monkey, and it figured out if I wash the mud off of my banana, it tastes so much better. And others had watched, and then they started doing it. But when it finally caught on, it was not like the monkeys that started washing things had seen any other do it. They picked up the idea. They had the energy feeding them, telling them this is what they should do. So once that fire catches and starts spreading, and it's just like in humanity, we say, okay, I have telepathy, or I have telekinesis, or any of the metaphysical properties. It just takes very few people to have those, and someone to see it working. Hey, I can do that too, or hey, I'm going to figure out how to do that too.
Or
and that's just going to continue to roll through the public. It's not going to be done all the same way. It's not like religion, where
That's right.
we must march down, and we must sit in these pews, and we must get on our knees and do these things. It's just going to be a poof, and we all understand it. We may not be able to use it, but we know we can do it. It's not blocked from us anymore, and it's something we've probably done in the past anyway. We're just remembering at this stage of our evolution.
And think of one other thing. No one can have power by controlling knowledge because it's open to everyone.
Mm-hmm.